Gone are the days where people are hiring based on the skills you possess or the things that you've learned over the years. We are now hiring character because if you have a good character, you're teachable. And we want people that are ready to evolve with a shift. So that is how I encourage them by emulating. I walk into meetings with people that are just employed with us as a waiting staff. Why? Because if I leave you in that waiting staff, all you will learn is to pick calls. Good morning, Caroline from Nyonyo, Medina branch, how may I serve you? And then get to understand different people and how you should even serve them. It ends there, so limiting. But I rotate my team. Whereas there will be days that you came as a waiting team, all right, but you are dressing today, not in a branded stuff. You are coming with me, walking into the meeting with me. You are going to be sitting in that meeting. I want you to see how we negotiate, how we talk, how we win people over, how we serve, how we look the part. So for me, it's not about words, it's not about the things, it's about seeing how I operate. Up close and personal.
Where did you learn this from? Certainly not in the schools you've been to.
No.
Where did you build that?
I did HR.
Okay.
When they hired me back in TNS, they flew me to Nigeria to go and understudy at the time as senior HR practitioner. And the whole orientation was nothing about HR. This man was like, you are a gem. It was more about being a good person and putting everyone else before you. Not to say that you neglect yourself, but in serving the people, you serve yourself. And this guy will go into his trainings that he has that has maybe a bit to do with me and almost nothing to do with me. And I'm just observing. And when we are done, he'll ask me, what did you observe? How did the meeting go? Did I do well? And truly want to know your opinion. And I was like, whoa, if every leader could be this way, oh my God, we are going to shape the next generation into being all-round amazing bunch of people and not be just self-serving. So that's where I picked it from the person who oriented me just for 2 weeks. But you see the impact?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Because he didn't do theoretical with me.
Yeah.
You see this clause, and if you do this and you do that. No, that was the last part of it. That was the last bit of it. Just to be on record, I think that's why we did that, because that to be on record, because it's a compliance company. There are policies that we have to follow. So that was it. But the real thing was to study him up close and personal.
Wow. Anytime I have a guest, I'd usually post it on YouTube and ask my people, what question would you ask Chichi? What question would you ask Kwame, Kofi? And then they'll drop it. Mm-hmm. Then I'll post it on my Instagram. Mm. What do you think about this conversation? What do you think about that? As a matter of fact, this here, a year ago, I started fixing the studio. None of this is my final idea. Everything is what this person thinks, what that person thinks, what that person thinks. Because the truth is, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the people.
Yeah.
So if the people don't like it, you can't place yourself in the middle of it.
No.
So it's such an awesome concept.
It doesn't have to be self-serving.
At all.
No.
We serve the people. I love that. Do you think the people you work with, as in all the way down, they understand these concepts that you've been teaching?
They do. Today, when I dressed up before coming here, what business have I got to do to ask my employees? There was one, the cleaner, and then the new kitchen assistant. Tell them, what do you think? Is it ladylike? Do I look proper for the interview? This is somebody I have so much respect for. Do I look the part? They say, yeah, you look well dressed. I said, you sure? That's how I want you to also dress when you're going out there to meet anybody you have so much reverence for, and even for yourself. Because you have to look the way you want to be addressed. You know, those tiny little bits of things that I drop in their head, they won't forget that. But if I come and I say, these are the rules, follow this, follow that, it's more like we are working with robots, but we are human. Let's add a human touch to it. So to the bottom, To the very last person.
So I've worked in the UK. I've got a business in the UK, right? I've got employees in several parts of the world. And I'll pick India, for example. When I give them something to do, say we are fixing a homepage on one of our websites because there's an issue with it. And we write down, we have a meeting and we say, this is what we're doing. In most cases, I don't need to do anything else. They will do it from the beginning to the end, submit for approval. The culture there is different. In fact, in any culture, you will have the people who are so proactive and so spot on that all they need is instructions, then they will get the job done with their touch, higher than what you expected them to do. But I feel like this part of the world, there are plenty people who need to be spoken to the way you do.
Yeah.
You think that's true?
I strongly believe so. Because a lot of the team, because I'm working with the heavily unskilled stuff. So you realize I said the cleaner and then the kitchen assistant, some have the barest minimum of education being junior high school. So they haven't had anyone to really transform the way they think. But this transformational way of thinking is heavily applied when you're in the higher school. So maybe from senior high to college and stuff like that, then maybe into the career world. So for me, I make it a point that it has to be very transformative. It's more like you're about to school them about life, then the business. So that's how that's my approach, because I just want them to leave my space or my working with me, seeing how the world works and how it can work for you, provided you position yourself well. So I teach them so much beyond the real job description, life skills, basic things, from grooming to how you communicate, to how a message that goes to the recipient can mean one thing, and being sent to another context can mean another thing, and tone. I'm sure when they come, their orientation and the moment they have to connect with me, because the first week you have your work buddy, then the second week you have one-on-one with me, no matter your department. And I'm sure when I'm having a conversation with them, they're like, this is different. And after I ask them, how was this? No one has ever interviewed me this way before. No one has actually had an orientation with this way before, because it's off topic.
Yeah.
It has nothing in relation with the work. It's more about mindsets, the way you think, the way you carry yourself. And also most importantly, the thing that actually really makes me tick is when you are doing it and you don't think transactional at the end of the day. It becomes even more, like, it even pays more. You earn more.
Yeah.
There's a price to everything anyway. But when you are transacting in a way that is more about you having an amazing experience, the end result being amazing, you are doing over and beyond that, even what the person is paying for. It has a ripple effect. You retain the customer, or you have them do a word of mouth for you. So it's more about how you talk, how you carry yourself. Because if you know how to talk, you can sell sea at the sun.
It's true.
You can sell sun at the sea. So my number one thing is communication. I think that's what has actually really brought me thus far.